What's up, everybody? It's your girl Erica from the Classy Climb blog. Switching gears, we're doing show number 2 today. We've addressed some of our previous comments of the other one. Today, we're talking about 10 years to financial freedom. Cashflow Quadrant by Robert Kiyosaki. I call it a decade to get right. Now, why do I say about a decade to get right? Because you'll talk to a lot of people, and if you look over the course of their life, decades, it'll take a decade of habits and behaviors and patterns to show up. Now, what do I mean by that? There's an article I'm putting together on classyscl.com. It'll be published after this video is done. And I'm talking about the woman who worked for a real estate company, and I kind of know probably what happened. She started working for this real estate company and seeing everybody flipping houses, buying houses, and she wanted to be a part of that. And so her boss goes, yeah, man, here, pick a house, out of probably these empty vacant houses, and we'll help you get in there. Well, she moves in the house, no money down, no closing costs, gets into the house, gets the lights and the cable on, all that good stuff. And for 9 years pays no money. Now, what happened in this story? Her boss, of course, in that 2007, 2008, 2009 crash, actually gets convicted of fraud, wire fraud, mail fraud, all kind of, shady shit, right? So we already know, excuse my language, already Sunday, whoops, shady business, okay? Something was shady about that. Now, I know it's the homegirl probably did. She probably said, well, they ain't came for me. They ain't looking for me. So I'm going to just sit in this house and not do anything or say anything. I'm going to just keep living my life. Now, I am not going to fault her for that. I don't know her life story. I don't know where she's been. But hey, if you were living somewhere rent-free and your boss goes to jail, you might be scared you was going to go to jail. So you don't say anything. Here's my problem with that. If you know that's your situation, every month that you are working some other job because your boss went to jail, so you're not working for him anymore, you should have been putting away money. Now, what do I mean by putting away money? I mean, any moment the police can come knock on this door and kick you out of this free house, you should at all times have $1,000 to move. Now, why do I say 1,000? If she have to put down a security deposit and it's $500 rent and it's $500 a month, like she needs 1,000. So with that being in mind, this woman did this for 9 years. 9 years. So every once in a while, every couple of years, the property would come up on auction. And then I guess she'd probably go down there and go, I live here. What are you talking about? And they kind of just, the city get lost track because a lot of cities have hundreds, if not thousands upon thousands of houses still under their listing, right? Under their control. So I have an aunt who, when she sees vacant houses where the grass is bad, she calls the city. 9 times out of 10, the city does own that house, and the city sends their people out there to cut the grass. That's why the city hates when you guys have active residents in your city, because they know somebody owns that house. And if they don't know who owns the house, the city probably owns that house, okay? So there's a tip for you. But anyway, my thing with her is, and I broke this down yesterday, and I did a lot of whining on Facebook, and Alvin, a couple of people who watch this channel probably are laughing still that I'm still ranting about this. If she just saved, and just say, let's just put it in a security bank certificate or something, $70 a month for 9 years. When it was time for her to pay $7,000, let's hear this again, $7,500, she would have had that. Now, here's why I'm even more mad, because somebody would say, well, Erica, what if she couldn't save $70 a month? Okay, she couldn't save $70 a month. I am quite sure she got real estate, she got tax refund checks. She has a kid, maybe $1,000, $2,000, low income person. It's very common. $2,300, $3,000. She should have somewhere for it to show. Now, this is how I know, and people are going to say, Erica, you're being harsh. This is how I know she was not financially anywhere prepared, because if she had some kind of insurance, just life insurance on herself and her kid, if she had, trying to be nice, if she just had bank certificates or some kind of whatever with her bank, she could have got a $10,000 credit card. She could have told her bank about the situation, and the bank would have gave her $10,000 to get this house that she's been living in for 9 years and being well. Just documentation would have got her there. If she had an insurance policy, she could have took a loan out on it. See what I'm saying? I'm not even knocking people. I'll even take it a step further. If she had a car, because she hasn't had any payments, if she's had a car she's been making payments on, and the car is at least worth $7,000, brown and white folks love Chryslers. She's in Indiana. They love Chryslers up there. The Chrysler car or whatever car she's driving should at least be worth $5,000 to $7,000 for her to take a title loan out on to have a house. So when people say, well, Erica, you're just being so damn harsh. I'm sorry. These are the same people. If you're not paying attention, these are the same people who are going to be on Social Security. These same people that are going to be destitute, homeless. And it's a big point of America. It's a big old chunk of America. I told you guys about the Huffington Post article that if you make just $30,000 a year, you make more than 53% of Americans. Think about that for a minute. $30,000 a year. That's $2,500 a month. Think about it. I mean, that just number blows my mind. And I talked about in a previous video how at my church, I could just look around at my church right now and pick out 150 people easily who are making over 100,000 a year. All my friends I know almost make 100,000 a year. Their wives may make less, for significantly. One or two of them, their wives make less, for sure. There's one or two girls in our group who make less. I was one of the girls in the group who made significantly less. Could not afford to do dinners. Could not afford to do stuff for a while. And then now my business has flipped that. There was a time where I was always working 2-3 jobs. I was working on my real estate license. Got my real estate license. I'm doing getting commissions. And they go, man, Erica's always busy. She can't come to our stuff. They were living stratosphere-wise a whole nother life than me. I remember last year, everybody was going on ski trips. And I was like, that's nice. I'm busy building a business here. I'm building a painting company. And now, just about 8 months later, complete 180. Like, I'm not doing it to brag, but I am not even in town. You guys know I had surgery. I've been recovering. I've been laying down. Last month, one of my businesses still made the same amount of money, and I was laying in a bed. My painting company made $7,000 in 1 week. Just laying in a bed. I don't paint anything. I have guys who do that. But it didn't happen overnight. It didn't happen like yesterday. It took some time. And what happens is people are microwave mentality. So I'm harsh on myself for sure, but I'm harsh on people because I know in 10 years, these people will be in the exact same position, except they'll be older. They won't be able to work and they'll need money. I can tell you countless 50-year-olds that I went work when I was 18 at Lowe's. Now they're in their 50s and they're like, I'm still at Lowe's, girl. I'm like, girl, it's about time for you to go. Anyway, let me jump on this by saying, I'm going to read your comments because I know they're going to be comical. To behavior. Look at, pick a man or woman you know. Look at them at 25. Look at them at 35. Look at them at 45. If you've had the opportunity in life to do that. Some of you are older, some of you are not. I'm not old enough to know lots of people with that much of a range. But I promise you, the guy that doesn't alternate behavior at 25, at 35, he's still the black dude in the club. Like, yeah, you know, because black don't crack. Look good for a long time. And if he's still 38, 39 doing that, not married, we already know his future, dude. That's his path. That's straight up his path. I had a cousin who's 40, just got married, first time. He was a football player. Girls threw themselves at him. He was shapely. He didn't have any stress. No stress, no worries, no baby mamas. Just a cop, good guy, black guy, nice looking guy. And so when people, you have to look at people's behavior. Their behavior will dictate where they will be. Now, this woman, Glenn Cameron says this word and I laugh. He calls it a yard bird. It's somebody who just doesn't have the ingredients for like to be a superstar. And now I don't want to say it's like that bad, but I will say it's people who wait to the last minute. They're procrastinating in life. They're kind of like, you have to push them. Something has to push them. Because surveys show, unless you have a medical health injury or a financial kind of crisis, people do not change trajectory. They just keep doing the same thing, right? You'll see this at people applying for jobs. I remember when some of our friends were PE teachers and they were getting rid of PE in schools. Well, I keep applying for jobs for PE. Where are you going to go, baby, for a PE job? They're getting rid of PE jobs. When I was in college in 2002, when I first went in that fall, they told us if you want to be a teacher and you want to teach PE, you have to mandatorily get 18 hours in something else because PE is going away. So when I meet people who are like, I'm a PE teacher, I'm like, what else is your degree in? Oh, I got a degree in social sciences. They make me teach social science. Okay, good. Oh, I got a degree in English. They make me teach an English class. Like there is no, you have to have a long-term plan. And that's when I met people who did that, I was like, that's stupid. Why are you going for that degree? So anyway, decades will show you your time. Now, if you don't know where you're going to be, like, I want you guys to grab a sheet of paper for real. If you don't know where you're going to be in 5 years from now or 10 years from now, or you haven't wrote it down, you're already there. You're already there. I meet people all the time who go to every single RIA group, every single real estate investment program. They buy 4 or 5 programs, and I'll say, man, did you buy a house last year? No, man, I still, researching. This is 5 years in. People really believe they have time 2, 3 years from now. Or people will tell me, Erica, no, don't worry. When the recession comes, I'll buy a house. Honey, let me promise you this. And I'll look you dead in the eyes in the camera. I have friends who work in banking. If you do not already have a system of business lines of credit and mortgages, additional mortgages with the bank now, when there's a recession, you're not being approved, honey. You're not. You're just not being approved. Right now, I have clients in Ohio who are trying to buy $20,000 houses. The bank's like, I'm not giving you money on a $20,000 house. If you want to invest in that house and fix it up, you have to come out with your own money. So they're having to go to hard money lenders, or they go the second route. Can I get a business line of credit for my working capital for my business? Bank's like, sure, here's 15 grand. But they wouldn't give them 20 grand on a house. Hear that, people. Learn to play the game here. Play the game to win, okay? So here's this for the sheet of paper. 20 things you do well. Now, do this on your own time, but I want you guys to write down 20 things you do well. Number 2, you might need a couple sheets of paper. I want you to write down 20 things that you could do to make money or that interest you that could make money. Number 3, I want you to write down, let's say your age is 30. I'm just guessing. I don't know you guys' ages. Say you're 30, say you're 35. Tell me where you're going to be. Describe to me in detail the person you're going to be at 40 or 45 or 50. Like if I call you right now and go, hey, it's me, Erica from Class Climb. What are you going to be in 5 years? Girl, I'm going to be well-traveled. Me and my husband are going to do this. We're going to own this and this, right? You should be able to go, boom, that's me. Really honest. Like, all right, I can tell you right now, my 10-year plan, I'm going to own this many rentals at age in 10 years from now. So what does that require me to do? Every year I need to buy at least 1 property. Or every 2 years I buy a 4-plex. If you own, like I tell clients, they go, I want to get 10 units. Great. And they go, oh, but I don't want to do single family houses. Let's just get you a 4-plex. So now after you get 3 4-plexes, you're at 12 units. You've accomplished your goal. I have 2 clients already this year who are doing that right now. They're already, they started out, Erica, I just want a 4-plex. Now they're on their 3rd property. The ones in Florida, the ones in California are on their 2nd property, and hopefully they can get a 3rd this year. Because once you start moving in that direction, deals show up. Once you start moving in that direction, turnkey companies and systems and handymen and contractors start coming your way. But that's the thing. People don't want to hear that. So anyway, those were the 3. 20 things you do well, 20 things you can make money. 3 is where you're going to be in 5 years. Number 4 is where you're going to be in 10 years. But again, grab the book, Daily Colors One Thing. It'll let you work your way back. Like, what do I need to be doing this month? What do I need to be doing this year? What do I need to be doing next year to get there? It's a momentum thing. So I'm going to read over some of your behaviors, and then I'm going to kick back to the second part of this, which is the Robert Kiyosaki Cashflow Quadrant. So let's get on some of these comments. All right. Basil Hamilton. Hello. What's good? No audio. No audio. Can anyone hear? Oh, I'm so sorry. Can you guys hear? I see the audio up here. I can hear. I can hear. That's right. I can hear. Alvin. Okay, my stuff's messed up. Yeah. Okay, Little Miss. She's an opportunist. Yeah, I mean, when I listened to it, I felt, there's a song by, oh gosh, I forgot his name, but it basically the song's like, I can't help somebody who don't want to help themselves. Oh my God, it's a classic. It's oh my God, I was gonna drive me crazy not knowing his name. But basically he's talking about he want to help his brother, but his brother's down on the ground. And this is like when people were doing heroin in the 60s, 1960s, 70s. And so he's singing this song, and he's like, man, I really want to help you, brother, but I can't help you when you're laying on the ground, when you're already high, when you won't help yourself. Do you see what I'm saying? And she's an opportunist, and she didn't want to help herself. She's playing this victim role, and now the TV cameras are there, and she's like, I just tried to buy my house. You didn't have $7,000 to buy your house. Here's the thing. I'm gonna get upset. Let me calm down. When I tell you that we had a cousin, she got a divorce. Her house was $70,000. Here is the problem. I had my mom and 4 of our family members had just came back. 2 of them were in the Army, so they had the tax-free income. Another 2 had came back from doing contracting. This is the height of the war. So they had $100,000, all four of them. But guess what all four had did? They all just bought other properties, my mom included. And so when my cousin was like, I'm getting a divorce, he wants me to sell the house, but I only need to pay off the mortgage. It's only cost $70,000. If she'd have called 2 weeks earlier, between two family members, they would have came down and gave her $70,000. And so when someone tells me that they had a house they could have purchased for $7,000, and I don't know how many siblings she has. I don't know how old her mom and dad is. I don't know the extent of her family. But if between 10 of y'all, you couldn't get $700 from 10 people, or you couldn't go to your church and ask for it, or you couldn't go any of these places and ask for it, you need to examine your life. Examine your life. Like I told you guys in another video, one time I lost an apartment for $200. I was at court and I was like, are you kidding me? Give me 20 minutes to make a phone call. I didn't know the bill was this high. Let me pay this. I've been out of town. I've been traveling for work. I didn't know this. So again, she is an opportunist. Glenn Cameron probably call it a yard bird. There's just sometimes it's like, are we serious right now? So anyway, a little miss, but she should have been saving for sure. There's just no excuse. Or at least have life insurance, because I know you guys are getting your nerves about the life insurance, but you can take a loan out against yourself. There's a book called Bank on Yourself. That book, Millionaire by 30, talks about it. There's several times I see insurance agents go in talking to the poorest communities like, dude, if you just put $14 away a month, $14, we can get you $250,000 in life insurance. And people will say no. $14, bro. You got a Cadillac sitting out front of your house. You got a Chrysler 300 sitting out there, but you ain't got $14. You got an Apple phone in your hand, but you ain't got $14. You don't love your family. Be honest. You don't. Because that's not love. And people are like, well, when I'm dead, I ain't going to be worried about it. But they got to bury you. I mean, I've had clients who have no money because they used all their money to bury their parents, bury their spouse. I had one guy had to bury his spouse. And she was only 32 and had a stroke and died. You know, I'm not saying his name, but I just imagine your spouse dying at 32 and you are not financially prepared. This is a serious thing, you know. So I get upset about this because, and I'm starting to get to the point where you can't help people who don't want to help themselves. That's for sure. But I don't want these people getting on TV. I'm poor and I'm homeless and America needs to give more money to the poor. Yeah, no, you've made poor choices. Live in the consequences of your choices. There used to be a time in our country where, you know, you could go to jail as a man, maybe for 5 years, come out, start working, and people give you a job and you start your life over. I mean, Steve McQueen, all these actors from the 80s, Tim Allen had drugs, sold drugs, and he's Mr. Toolman, Mr. Gosh, what is it, like Last Man Standing. He's had several shows after that. He's had a life. But we're starting to throw people away for 30 years and act like, well, they should be glad we didn't throw them away for life. That's ridiculous. They did a poor man crime, put him in jail for 5 years, let him come out and start over. You know, in the 70s, when they had all these people that you could go to jail or you could go to the military, and people were like, that was an abuse. Vietnam. Honey, there's probably several men's lives who were saved from not going to jail or a life of jail. They went into the army and didn't go to jail. So I could go into that for a minute, but I'm gonna stop. Okay, all right. Alvin, dumb. I don't know what she was thinking. I want to know if Erica loses sleep over this hashtag trigger. I don't actually. When I get to bed, I get to bed. But what happens is, here's the deal. You guys don't understand. When I say I get 100 emails, like half my day, I'll get 100 emails. Now, I get notifications. Something was purchased, something was sold, a credit repair case came in, you need to send it to your assistant. Okay, my assistant couldn't open something, she needs me to fax it. Stuff like that happens all day. So I get emails all day, which is fine. But then I'll have at least 20 a day that are like, hey, Erica, you need to help me. You need to do this for me. I've got eight kids and we need help. And I got this. And I'll be like, you're not entitled to my time. Are you crazy? Like, I wish I could take a photo screenshot of all these and post them, but I think that would be legally, I can't remember, I'd be breaking some law, that's why I can't do it. But anyway, the point of the story is, people get mad if you don't help them for free. But that's how they got there. Their poor choices got them there. I'm in over 10 credit repair groups. I'm in over 2 or 3 different groups that, you know, we're business talking, we're collabing, we're saying, what's going on with the banks in your area? What's going on with the banks in my area? Kind of like keeping each other in the know. And every day I'll be in those groups and people be like, somebody help me. Help me. You're like, well, there's I'm not even joking. We'll be like, well, there's a handbook. You can find out what you need there. If you need any help, it's in the book. Just read the book. Why? I ain't got time to read the book. I got kids. I'm busy. This is your life. This is your credit. You better get out of here, girl, with that request of help. I mean, there's people who really, really believe that people should be just helping them for free. How dare you? Or I get emails where people say, Erica, you got this information for free. You should give it for free. No, I didn't. I bought those books. I mean, I've already got over 700 books, close to it. I've paid for those courses. I've gone to the seminars. You didn't pay to invest in better yourself. I did. So if I want to charge money, I'll charge it. You better get out of here. I don't lose sleep out, but I tell you what, when I wake up and read some of these emails, I go, y'all smoking something. All right. Little Miss, if I didn't have to pay rent, I would have so much in savings, 850 credit score. 10 years, exactly. See, this is my thing. I'm going to calm down. But the fact is, it wasn't like 2 years where you could, you're just getting yourself back right. You're paid off all your debt. It was 9 years. This woman ought to have no debt. This woman ought to be like sitting on $100,000 and like sneaking on cruises and shit with her kid, like acting like she's poor. I mean, this is why I'm laughing, because we're going to get to the cash flow quadrant. And we're going to get to my thoughts on young men in the military, how it changes the trajectory of their lives. But we're going to get there. Hold on. She was not thinking, just very financially and mentally immature. Very good example of bad mindset, destroying phenomenal opportunities. And she had a kid. So there had to be at some point, gosh, I don't want to get into relationship stuff, but at some point, some man was there, if you know what I mean. And if he was living there, he knew the situation too. Okay. So the video didn't show that kid's daddy, but that kid wasn't 10. So that kid was like 4 years old. So that little old lady, she had a boyfriend somewhere. Okay. Little Miss, I love you so much. Thank you. I appreciate it. This is Erica's ministry. It will chase her, make her talk. Like Dave Ramsey said, you have to live like no one else so you can later live like no one else. But she did live like no one else. She didn't have rent for 9 years. I like that though, Ebony Hayes. Black Star, I think that's how you say your name, Junior. I just got approved for 17K in business credit. How do I get an increase? Depends on what it is. I don't know. You got a bank loan, or you got a credit card, or you got what do you have? Because you do 90-day increases. Okay, Alvin Hollinger. Yardbirds are people who have little to no foresight. I think so too. That probably is a good description, where their just head is here. They're looking at Friday, and then they get Monday and they're like, oh, I hate my life. Friday. Like, I'll say this, and I'll be nice. One time I was dating this guy, and my uncle was like, let him go. I was like, why? I really like him. He's fun. Honey, your life will be cookouts on Saturday and living in the country in a trailer. And I laughed so hard, because at the time the dude did live in a trailer, and he was always saying, I'm going to build a house out here. 10 years later, he doesn't have a house out there. He still lives in that trailer. And so my uncle was kind of right. But there's some people who they're like, cookouts every weekend. We're partying. Everybody come over to the house Saturday. But they didn't do anything financially during the week to change the trajectory of their life. So, yeah. Can you get a house with 17K in business credit? What is the business credit, dude? Like, I need a little bit more information. You might just need to buy you a consult, because I don't know where you're going with this. Ebony Hayes, I've written my goals down, look at it regularly so I can stay focused. Ebony, I've actually debated hard putting together 2 books, a productivity planner and a journal for just personal. Because I end up I always have a journal for personal. What am I feeling? What am I thinking? Review what I'm thinking. What am I doing? Right? And then a productivity planner where I'm like, this is my goal. This is what we're doing. And the goals have changed. A long time ago, I wanted to open a coffee shop up again. That goal was gone for me. I don't even feel like that anymore. I've had goals that I've written down, and when I review them, I'm like, that don't make sense. That's not even the trajectory of what I'm doing. Right? So I think it's so vital. Journals are like so vital. You review yourself, if that makes sense. And how often can I get increases in business credit? Kipo, how did you get it? The business credit. Okay. Okay. I'm going to keep reading. Okay. Okay. Joe Wilson. Erica, where can I go to get help with applying for business credit? Get a consult. I'll help you get started. If not, you can go see Esther L. She's a girl I bring on the show all the time. Alvin, I don't really sleep. No, Alvin, I said when I go to sleep, I sleep. Okay, what happens is I don't lose sleep over this conversation. Now, I used to have a problem where I would sleep. I'd go to bed about, I think I'd go to bed about, was it midnight? Yeah, this one I was working 2 jobs. I go to bed at midnight, Alvin, and I had to get back up at 9. It was killing me. Or I would go to bed at 2 in the morning and get up at 8. Oh, it was killing me. It's killing me. So I do enjoy my sleep. This is funny. This past month has been really enjoyable because I've just every day, I think I've got 12 hours plus. And then I call, I look at my emails, I make sure everybody's taken care of, I make sure the assistant's doing what she's doing, I make sure Andrew's got the painting company going well, I make sure every number's in, QuickBooks is updated, and enjoy my life. All right, let's see. Judah, I'm sorry, let's read this again. Judah Benjamin, how do I find more investment properties that don't want hard cash? You mean you want to find properties that let you use investing? Like financing from a bank, like a 30-day, like long-time mortgage loan? You gotta explain that better. All right. God bless that Uncle Savage advice. You know what's funny? And a lot of people say, well, you've lived in military towns. Why aren't you married? Because my family are all military. And so they would meet people and be like, girl, get away from that. Don't marry that girl. Get away from him. Don't, you know, the one time I was engaged and I ended up counseling on my wedding 3 weeks before my wedding. But that's a story for another day. It was great advice for my family. They were just like, don't do it. Like they really got to know him. They really reviewed his credit, reviewed his life. And they were just like, honey, can you not see this? You're so in love, you're missing it. And I'm like, oh, he's great. And then looking back, I'm like, thank you, family. Except for having him sell that wedding dress. That was not fun. So anyway, all right. Okay, it's a business credit card. Okay. Well, let me put it to you like this. If you could qualify, let's do a hypothetical. But honestly, Black Star, just get a consult because there's so much more to the conversation. If you can get 1 credit card, why can't you get 6? Is your credit really good, or did you get an authorized user, or what? Right? So I'll just say it that way, right? Because if you know anything about this channel or you watch this channel, I'm big on business lines of credit. If you have a business credit card and you have, let's say hypothetically, you go open up 4 banks, all for your business with your business EIN, your business LLC, your business information, you should be able to go get 17,000 in business lines of credit. Does that make sense? So anyway, you should get a consult because the conversation I want to have with you, I'm not going to suck up the rest of this talk with it. So, okay, grab a consult. The links are always below. Anyway, so the second part of this conversation that I'm so glad to get to is when we talk about a decade. And we talk about Robert Kiyosaki Cashflow Quadrant. Cashflow Quadrant is the 3 ways. What I love about, okay, everybody names Rich Dad Poor Dad as the book to get. I think the book to get is Cashflow Quadrant. It really sets a blueprint. The Rich Dad Poor Dad is all like thinking and thinking about it and imagining owning your own business. Cashflow Quadrant puts it in your face. This is this, this is this, this is how this is different. Like out of all the Robert Kiyosaki books, they are the one. This is that, you know, right? Okay. So it shows you step by step. Here's the thing. His top 3 stocks, 3 ways to get wealthy in America: stocks, businesses, real estate. And I believe that because every study shows that 80% of multimillionaires, I'm talking about Oprah, even Oprah, Bill Gates, all these people, Mr. Peoples in Florida, the construction guy, 80% of their portfolio and 80% of the most wealthiest multimillionaires, it's real estate. It's the bulk of their portfolio. Like is real estate. So you may see Oprah has like 20 houses, but Oprah probably owns like several hundred thousand in commercial buildings. Commercial franchises. You know, Kanye West, we laugh about him being broke, but he's not. He owns 150 Burger Kings, 150 KFCs. He ended up giving as part of his marriage to Kim Kardashian like 30 KFCs or some craziness. It was a part of her prenup and marriage agreement that he gifted her these businesses. So she ain't stupid. Now you see her and people think she's stupid, but she's not stupid. Now, why do I talk about a decade so much? You can look back at a guy who, and this is very common, and I'll say this is a prime example why a lot of more young men are not going to college. I'll give you 2 examples that are very common. The Black kid that goes and starts working at UPS, FedEx, wherever, right after high school. Just take some community college on the side. You'll see that guy at 23 and 24, and he already owns a house if he's in the South. He already has a paid off car. He's like other 23-year-old guys and him are not the same. He's been working. He has money in his pocket. He can travel. He can take a vacation. Different from a guy in college who has not really gotten a real working world. Another example, another set of guy, military guys who go right out of high school. They do 4 years and they go, you know, I really don't want to do this anymore. They're getting on my nerves. Or I want to go to college. Like a lot of kids say they want to go to college. My cousin went, he in the Navy, did 4 years. He was kind of silly, very immature young man at the time. Got out, first thing he got a job interview. They were like, we'll pay you, I think it was 25 an hour, 29 an hour at the airport, because we were trying to get veterans to do the mechanics of like fuel something. I'm so sorry, I don't know his exact job title. And within a year, he was living well. Well, then he decided, well, I would like to get a different job. Well, for $30 an hour, we're going to take you over here to this chemical plant, which makes medicine, which medicine is chemicals. I don't think people understand that. And you have to wear a certain type of gear, radiation, protect yourself. And they make medicine. Well, how did he get that job? He's a 5'4" black guy with a long beard. How did he get that job? Veteran. So another example is a lot of African-American guys I meet in college while I was at East Carolina, they'd be 25 and you'd be like, man, you're kind of old to be here. But no. He did 4 years in the military. He gets the GI Bill for $1,500 a month. He's going to college free. He has a paid off little Honda. And those guys were pretty well sought after guys. Because once people realize like, hey, I'm 21, he's 25 in class, he's got his stuff together, he's doing this degree thing, he's not like a drunk party boy, like he has fun because he has money to have fun. And this is at East Carolina where rent was like $425 for a long time. It's kind of funny. It's a cool college town for your own apartment. So when you met a guy that didn't have his own apartment, you're like, but it's like $450. Why not? So they just lived a different life. Their decade, their trajectory of their decades is different. So when I start meeting college kids or community college kids who are 25 and they ain't finished their degree, they're still kind of going back and forth, and they're 26 and 27, and I'm gonna go back to college. Their trajectory of their life is already kind of messed up for this decade. And there's another big reason I say don't stay at home, because so many people I know stay at home is like, oh, this is so comfortable. I'm saving so much money. Well, then you really talk to them and they never really save much money because they never worked second jobs. They never really got a hustle on, and they never really got into a lot of relationships. So you're seeing a lot of Black and Latino women who are in their 40s living at home. Why? Oh, I'm taking care of my parents. No. You didn't go out in those early 20s and get married. And that's just the truth. You didn't get married. You didn't seek those opportunities while you looked a certain way and you were a certain way because you were at home being comfortable. That's very common. There's a lot of men, 1 in 3 men age 19 to 34 live at home. That's a high number. So we can say, well, men age like 1, Erica. Well, if you're a 40-year-old dude and you've never lived kind of on your own and paid bills and kind of know the stress of that, if you go get with a woman and you go live with her, you're going to be angry. You're going to be very angry because all of a sudden you have all these new stresses and you've never experienced them before because you were living at home with your parents. And your parents really didn't make you pay much. They didn't make you take out the trash. They didn't make you clean up the house. They didn't make you paint the shutters. They didn't make you what a spouse would do. There's a reason the Bible says leave and cleave. And I'm not even going to use it for religious purposes. I'm going to use it for social development purposes. We all know a guy or girl who's still at home at 30 and they're kind of immature. Now, if you live in New York City or DC or Maryland or parts of Chicago, I'm not knocking you. It is very expensive. Very expensive. But at all cost, you should be striving to go out and do what people your age are doing. If you're 28 to 32, this is a very high time that people get married. Very high time. Very, very high time. And I remember having friends who were 28, 29, like, well, my parents need me to be home by 10. My parents need me to be home by 9 o'clock. And this was one of them was a dude. And he was like, my dad's crazy, man. I got to be home by 9. 9 o'clock, you're a 30, almost 30-year-old male. Like, man, like, does that not bother you? So anyway, the key to your decade, whether you're 30 going to 40, 40 going to 50, 50 going to 60, or 20 going to 30, is the habits you make right now are so important. If you don't, we all know right now, let's do comments in the here. How many people know somebody who are like, girl, if I knew what I knew then, or if I saved money, I'd have so much money now. And they're like 40, they're not even old, but they were like, if I did this in the military, or if I'd have did this with my first job, if I had saved money, if I knew how to save money, I'd have tell y'all that. That's a dime a dozen. You will hear stories from people all day long, like, girl, if I knew what I knew then. And you'll be like, okay, well, you still got time to make it right, but that's the point. If you start the last decade off behind, unless you put force and momentum into it, this next decade will not go like you want. Why? Because life comes along, you gain weight, you add kids into the situation. Some people get married. The freedom you had from 20 to 25 before you got married, or 20 to 28 before you got married, to travel and do things is absolutely different. I know couples who are fighting because one wants to travel more than the other because they did not get their travel in when they were young. And the other one's like, we're already in our 30s. What are you like? What's up with this travel? Like, they over that, right? So it's very interesting. Even now, my mom, who did 26 years in the Army, has a great pension package, ridiculously. I'm talking about 6-figure pension package. She is like, man, if I'd have saved $100 a month for my military paycheck. And the funny part is, now the military, for the people who just joined the last 2 years, has changed. No longer will you be getting $2 and $3 grand for the rest of your life from them. You will have to put money away, and they will match you at the end of your service. So let's say you're a guy, you put $5 grand away. Well, that's all you're getting. I think they're gonna have a minimum of 50 grand or something they give you, but at the end of the day, they're only matching you. So if you're a guy and you just joined the Army the last 2 years, every month you should be putting $200 away. Every month, because that's the only way you're gonna get your money back. Because they're not matching you. They're no longer giving the $2 and $3 grand every single month to the day you die plans anymore. Those plans are gone. I have an Asian neighbor who her first husband died 20 years ago. So instead of getting $3 grand a month for the rest of his life, she gets $1,500 a month for the rest of her life. Now, I'm not saying a woman can survive on that necessarily, but between her kids and her, she just stopped working. Like, $1,500 when you have paid off car and a paid off house, and all you're really paying is for your food and the insurance and the expense utilities. That's a different life. Okay, so decades matter. Your habits matter. If you guys can sit right here with me and be honest, if you look back the past 10 years, you can tell me probably 2 or 3 missteps you did. All right? We all can do that. So I'm going to review some more questions. Okay. So Judith Benjamin, looking to mortgage under $50,000 and rent it out, not finding many non-hard cash opportunities. So do you mean when you go to try to purchase, they want cash? Because you can go on realtor.com and there's like countless $50,000 houses. Countless. The key here is being already pre-approved. So here's the key. Anytime we're talking about mortgages or anything like that, you guys, you need to be pre-approved. So let's just be honest. Get your documents together, get your stuff together, go get pre-approved. If you're not going to do a mortgage route, you want to do cash route, you need to have that score bumping. Okay. One, why do we have the score bumping? So we can go get credit cards, business lines of personal lines of credit, business lines of credit with PG. Now, if you want to do no PG, that's a whole nother conversation. We can talk about that. But that's the key, because there's a lot of people right now. There's a video, I don't think I can tag it, but it's like the guy has $1 million in credit cards. Didn't happen overnight, just applied every couple of 90 days. So it happens. I mean, there's several articles on it. The key here is there's 7 different ways to get cash off credit cards. I mean, Juan Pablo, I tell you guys all the time, he posts about it. There's a PDF he has, so you can get it for yourself. Again, CYA, consult your attorney, consult your accountant. When I talk about 10-year plans, 1 stock, 2 businesses, 3 real estate, if you just buy one house, one $50,000 house a year, so your down payment on a closing cost is going to be maybe 10 grand-ish. Okay, even if we do an investor loan, 10,000 put away a year, every year. Now that house is going to, let's say that house rents out for $800 to $1,000, because that's the price in our area here in North Carolina. Just give you an example while I'm in the state. $1,000 a month comes in. All right, let's say after fees and all that other stuff, you get maybe 8 grand off of it, right? So 8 grand added to your bottom line every year. Now, every year you buy a house. Now, in 10 years, let's say you're 30 right now and you're watching me. When you're 40 and your friends are talking about their backs aching, their belly's getting bigger, they're tired of working, and you've got $100,000 coming in a year just from your rentals, it's a different life. It's a whole different life. You're going to need to make different friends. You know, when people come to, you're going to be the one going on skiing trips and snow trips and stuff like that. But that comes from a decade of choosing. Now, yes, there's some of my clients who've gotten $100,000 in financing, and so they bought 2 and 3 duplex and triplexes in 1 year, but they also have higher income, some of them. They also have a wife that works with them. I mean, it just depends on where you are right now. You have to really take an inventory of where am I right now? And if I have this credit looking right, maybe I could get approved for 100,000 in the next, 30 to 90 days. But what do you do with it, right? Because I already told y'all the story. I have that one client. He's still pissed. I don't care. I still share it. Got him a $74,000 business credit card. What did he do with it? He took him and his wife on a 2-week European vacation. It's actually 3 weeks, but. And when he got back, he was like, all right, I'm ready to get going. Are you fucking kidding me? That's our money to do what we have to do. Like, you could have bought a house cash out with 50K. But now because you've done that, we might have to adjust the plan. So key again is it's ladder income, folks. It's a ladder. So even if you're going to use business credit, even if you're going to use credit cards and all that stuff, it's a ladder. It's a ladder. Like you go to Home Depot, you go into Lowe's, you're doing this, you're doing that. You ladder it up. It's not just a whoop. So anyway, Joe Wilson, I should start listening to you. How can I get in touch with you to apply for business credit? Joe Wilson, I'll put it in the comments to hit me up at the, there you go. It's in the comments. I'll put it right under there. Little Miss Me. Juan Pablo showed me and I bought a franchise. Keepo, I don't know how to say your name, sorry. Great. Awesome opportunity. Juan Pablo is he's a good friend. I did an interview with him and it's actually on Dr. Bruce Watkins' network. So the key here is 10 years seems like forever away, but if you don't plan for it, you're already there because your life will look like that woman who had a 10-year free ride and then has nothing to show for it. Now she has to pay rent. That's not winning. She could have had that house owned right out for $7 grand and just had to pay insurance after that point. That's winning. So, again, if you want to talk to me, links below. If you want to pick up any of the courses, the links are always below. But I just had to do that one, 10 Years to Financial Freedom, Cashflow Quadrant, grab it from Robert Kiyosaki. There's several other ones. I mean, I'm just telling you guys, like, even if we go in a recession this year, and I don't think it'll be hits the fan, I think it'll be more of a slow decline. The guy or girl who has 5 or 6 rental properties, when their boss lets them go, or they're getting older, or they don't have retirement, like they're set. Like, if I can give you an example, I'm trying not to use my friend's name, but he actually is like, he's always in Asia. And everybody's like, what are you doing? Well, he basically bought a house when he first got out of National Guard. He was like, you're ready to go to college. Bought a townhouse in Raleigh for $55,000. His mortgage was like $300. And then he rented that one out and got a house a little bit further out near Clayton. I don't know if you guys know where that is, but anyway. And then he decided, I want to travel. So he rents them both out. The mortgages are so low and the rent coming in is so high. Like, he's been living, like, he went to Thailand for 6 months. Chilling. Straight chilling. He went to, where's the other place he went to? I think it's called Malaysia. It's somewhere like that. It's like Kuala Lumpur. I'm saying it wrong. But everybody was like, man, how you living like that, man? How you living? And it was the fact that he did the National Guard, then did a little bit of college, but it was paid for a GI Bill, had two houses, a townhouse, and then an actual house. Rent them both out. Now, it may not seem like a lot of money. You're like, Erica, he only gets like $2 grand in a month. But when your mortgages, your totals are like $600 and your car's paid off, you're in the positive. Now, you may not be in the positive for living in America, but living in Asia, like, he's had some pretty decent rooms he showed us, and they were not bad. Every time he's posted on Facebook, they haven't been bad. He's just kind of enjoying himself. So that's just a little bit, right? And so then we have another guy I know. He has like maybe four rentals, but he got them when it was really cheap during the last crash. But he don't do nothing else. There's certain men and women who can live very low. Now, I'm not going to say low as in unrespectable, but I mean like for the low. Like, they have a little $700 apartment. They got a paid off car. They have their cable on. They're chilling. That's their life. They chill. They do some work here and there, but they chilling. There's a lot of guys in North Carolina who are in the National Guard, not full time, and they do some work here and there. They do some construction, make some painting lightly, but they don't work hard. They don't like beat themselves up. They have just enough to chill. They have a house and they can chill. Now, what happens is people live in Virginia, Maryland, DC, and your rent's $3,000. Yeah, you're working. So, again, the point of this whole video was, how does your next 10 years look? How do they look? If you don't know, I can't tell you. right? So even if, and now the Robert Kiyosaki 3, we talked about real estate really heavy. We talked about stocks in all my other videos, but number 2 is businesses. Now, everybody's not going to start a business, not a full-time one. But let's say you just have something you do on the side. Like I have one aunt that does taxes on the side. I have a cousin in the IRS, but I have an aunt that does taxes on the side. And every year that's an extra maybe 20 grand to her pocket because she's not charging cheap. She's charging like the office space and everything, and like she charges some serious money. So let's just imagine you had something you did on the side, whether it's lawn keeping or it's shingles or it's painting or carpet cleaning, and it brought you an extra 20, 30K in over the course of 10 years. Do you not think you could have some things paid off? You could be debt free. If your job lets you go, you can do that for a little bit more. That's a person who's kind of thinking outside the box and being busy. A lot of immigrants have a saying, it's not your 9 to 5, but your 5 to 9. But it's different ways. We have some Jamaican neighbors and some Haitian neighbors. But it's the 5 to 9. It's like, what do you do when you leave work? Like your boss is only obligated to pay you so much. What do you do when you leave work? That's your 5 to 9. So I just hope you guys, if you guys have any questions, please put them in the comments. I'm going to wrap this one up. But yeah, stocks, businesses, real estate. It just is what it is. Like whether you're investing monthly dividend stocks, which I'm bigger on I like paper assets, but I'm big on the silver, the gold, the timber, the raw land, like something I can touch, see, taste, a gun if I have to sell it. Like these things have good resale value. And there was a flood here in North Carolina. And I remember in the next week, like, was it 2 weeks later? It was 2 weeks later. People were selling patches of 1 acre spots of land for like 10 grand. And I was like, in my mind, the first thing I knew is that person needed some money. They just had this flood or damaged their house and they need some money. So, you know, do you have any assets to sell? Do you have any assets that represent you? So anyway, you guys, look, I'll wrap this up, going out of here. 10 years to financial freedom. I'm putting in a blog article. The blog article is more concise, short and to the point. What does your 10 years look like? What are you doing in the course of your 10 years? What are you doing every year to get you to that goal? And how are you investing for yourself? Is it stocks? Is it businesses? Is it, micro business on the side? Is it real estate? Make a decision. Go hard for it. You can have the life of your dreams. Not everybody's going to be a millionaire, but if you're just making 100,000, you're living way different than everybody you know, especially if you're in the South, especially if you already have your house halfway paid off. You're living a different life. You're living a little bit more of the dream. So everybody, this is Erica, Classy Climb Blog. Thank you guys so much. Also, if you need credit repair, you need consulting, you know where it's at. It's in the links below. Hit me up. Have a great day.